Hello everyone, this is Stephen Balch, your instructor for Legal Environment of Business at Ozarka College. Today what I'm going to do is give you a little bit of feedback on the chapters 11 through 13 activities that I finished grading this morning. And then I'm going to tell you what we've got coming up due for chapters 14 and 15. And then also we've got our midterm exam coming up here fairly soon. And so I'm going to mention that as well. Okay. All right. So the first thing is, like I said, I did finish grading the chapters 11 through 13 activities this morning. Go ahead and, if you haven't already, look at your grades for those activities and read the grading comments and let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Most of you did well. Those of you that turned in the activities seemed to do well on it. There were quite a few of you who did not, for some reason, submit at least a portion of the chapters 11 through 13 activities. So I'm not sure why that is. If you have a problem that you're experiencing and reason that you're not able to get the activity submitted, let me know that, and I'll try to help you as much as I can. Hopefully those of you that didn't get stuff turned in this time will get back on track for next time. But that's why I always say it's important to get started early on your activities that are due, and give yourself plenty of time, because things come up at the last minute sometimes. And so if you wait till the last day, wait till the due date to get started, sometimes you're going to run into problems and not get the activities turned in. So that's why it's very, very important to get started as early as you can on your activities for the class. But like I said, if you're having problems, just let me know and I'll be glad to help you. But like I said, overall, those of you that did turn the work in, most of you did well on the assignment. So keep up the good work on that. The discussion that we had for chapters 11 through 13 dealt with the difficulty of calculating compensation for breach of contract. And I really enjoyed reading everyone's comments. And hopefully you got something from that discussion. You were able to kind of see the actual implications of breach of contract and the difficulty sometimes of figuring out the correct compensation for that. Some things are very easy to determine a value on, but then there are other things that are not so easy. So, but like I said, I really enjoyed reading everyone's comments. So keep up the good work on the discussions. On the chapters 11 through 13 objective tests, most of you did well on that. But just remember, you can take those tests as many times as you want to up until the due date, and your highest grade is automatically recorded on those. All right, so that brings us to what we've got coming up due for our next set of chapter activities. So if you'll notice, right now we are kind of on the beginning to mid portion of week 6 of the semester. And we don't have anything else due this week because we just had work due last night. But we do have work due early next week. So you should be working this week and next week, early part of next week on chapters 14 and 15 activities. By the way, chapter 14 deals with the nature of personal property. So in chapter 14, you're going to learn the difference between tangible and intangible personal property, the methods of acquiring personal property. We'll learn a term that is very important when we're looking at personal property as far as business law is concerned, and that is bailments. And you'll learn about what a bailment is, and then the different types of bailments. Okay, and then in chapter 15, we'll look at some special bailments as they pertain to business law. And so we'll look at things like private and common carriers of both goods and people. We'll look at the liability of common carriers of goods, bills of lading, liability of common carriers of people, and finally, at the very end of the chapter, we'll learn about the liabilities of hotel keepers. And in fact, the discussion that we'll have for chapters 14 and 15 will deal with that very last type of special bailment, which is the liabilities of hotel keepers. Okay? So just kind of keep that in mind. Remember all the resources you have. You have your textbook, you have the PowerPoint slides that I provided on the assignment page. You've got your videos that I've linked on the assignment page. So make sure you're using all those resources. And again, make sure that you get started early enough to give yourself plenty of time to get all the activities submitted by the due date. Okay? Now, another thing that we have coming up during week 7, at the end of week 7 or next week, is the midterm exam. So we'll have an exam over all the chapters that we have covered up to this point in the semester. Now, the midterm exam for this class is a little bit early. That's just it's actually before midterm week, but I kind of had to do it that way, the way that the chapters flowed through the textbook, and the way that I needed to divide things up during the course of the semester. So we're doing our midterm exam just a little bit earlier than what probably some of your other classes are doing, but that's just the way that we had to kind of do it for this class. Now, for the midterm exam, you'll go back and study the concepts covered on your previous assignments and chapter tests and so forth. So you'll need to go back, and I will make sure, I don't know if I've already done this or not, I probably haven't, but I will go in and make all of the chapter tests available for review before the midterm, and that way you'll be able to go in and kind of review over the concepts that were covered on the previous chapter test. And that would be a good way to study, is go back and study those concepts. Don't study the questions, study the concepts. It's very important. All right? And I will send out an email later this week, probably Friday, that will detail some more information about the midterm exam. So you'll know, for example, how many points it's worth and all those various things, what kind of questions. All that stuff will be covered on the course mail, and I'll also post it on the announcement page for you as well. Okay? So that will be Wednesday through Friday of next week will be our midterm exam. All right? Which is October 1st through the 3rd. All right? So just be working on those things. Be, at least starting to look at studying for your midterm exam as well. And just let me know if you have questions. And other than that, enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend. And I probably won't talk to you next week in a video, but it'll probably be the week after we take our midterm exam. Okay? So I will talk to you then. Thank you.